is you raise your little voting card with the lost icon on it, and then a member of staff comes and tells you, gets what it is, and then we will do that. And that's how they are working, apparently. We also have some other bits. Instead of this union notes, it is now this union knows. Instead of this union resolves, it is now this union will. And instead of this union mandates, it is now this union chooses. So those are just a few of the terms. So if you're, again, it's only really for the people who've been to these things before and might have been a bit confused by why the names were different. And if you're just seeming more confused now, I apologize. But as we go forward, everything will clear up, and the handbook contains everything you need anyway. So if we carry on with the agenda, the first thing we have to do is agree the minutes from last year. So can we get those all? They've been up on the website anyway, and basically what we have to do here is we just need you guys to do a quick vote with your voting cards. Again, you should have those. You just use the vote section to say whether or not you are happy with the minutes and how they were recorded. It's just a sort of a rubber stamping thing. So if we can move on to the voting, can I ask everyone who is happy with the notes to raise your voting cards now, please? That's pretty overwhelming. Thank you very much. For the sake of argument, is anyone dissatisfied with the minutes? No? Thank you very much. So that's that out of the way. Now, we have a report from the trustees. Would Lauren like to come forward?
Hello. Hello, and welcome to the SUM this year. So the Board of Trustees report here, just to reiterate that we obviously have the new branding, the new building, and a new team. Are there any questions? No? Excellent, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Next up is a financial report, which I believe is being presented by the President.
Hello. Cool. Okay, cool. So I've just got some brief little takeouts from the report just to make it easier. The union has made a surplus this year of £124,934 against the budgeted deficit of £34,300. There are a number of significant unbudgeted one-off items in the year which can be seen on the screen now, like the additional grant, etc. The surplus is generated from the union's trading activities and the income raised by the individual clubs, societies and networks. There was an increase of £45,200 in the block grant. The expenditure side, the non-trading costs were in line with expectations. Expenditure on the new building, etc., has been funded from the reserves from previous years. The present level of funding is sufficient to support the charity's activities, and the trustees consider the financial position of the union to be good. The union has a set deficit budget for 2015 to 16 of £24,300. Has anyone got any questions?
I have a question arising from yesterday's comprehensive spending review. UWE is based upon which metric you use, either the fourth largest university in the country or the single largest provider of nurses to the NHS in England. Yesterday, the Chancellor announced the removal of all grants for nursing students. Do you believe this constitutes a risk to the trading activity on the Glenside campus in the future?
Nice question. I'd personally say yes. Yeah. However, I haven't got an answer to give you how we would resolve that, but my answer to that is yes. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, it's online on the website. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Just a couple of points. First off, the DPC would like to ask people if you have questions when you're asking them, just wait for the mic to come to you so everyone can hear what your question is. Additionally, they just wanted to remind everyone that all of the information here tonight is available on the Student Union website. Now, the next part is the officers' report, which is a video. Yes.
Hi, I'm Eden, your New Societies and Communication Officer. For the coming year, I'm looking at building new societies and review all the current societies. If you have any ideas, opinions, or problems, please feel free to come find me.
I'm Robert J, your Education Officer. Over the next year, I want to work with PAL, the Peer Assisted Learning Scheme, to develop it further to ensure you get the best quality PAL sessions possible.
Hi, my name is William Moma and I'm the BME Officer. I'll be going to the NUS Black Winter Conference on the 28th to 29th of this month. I hope to gain insight into the issues that affect BME students and hopefully bring that awareness back to uni.
Hi, my name is Myra and I'm your new International Student Officer. This academic year, I hope to encourage cultural exchange between local and international students for a more united UWE.
Hi, I'm Shelley and I'm Glenside Campus Officer. I've provided a microwave, sports equipment, craft materials, board games, beer and cider on tap, drink responsibly, and loads more events to the Student Centre on Glenside. I will continue to keep the health and well-being of all Glenside and the Holly students at the forefront of everything I continue to do.
My name's Blake Sears and I'm your Bower Ashton Campus Officer. This year my main focus has been cultivating a community at Bower Ashton among students and staff. I have done this by creating events and activities across campus that all students and staff can get involved in.
My name is Ahmed. I'm currently a Frenchay Campus Officer. I was very keen to get more involved with the issue and to volunteer in different things like late night do it right and fundraising for Face Nepal. My goals for the rest of the year is to make sure that the mental health for every student is really in a good condition and to be receiving the required support and help they need to get more students involved with the issue.
My name is Kevin Wilson. I'm the Disabled Student Officer. This year I've been working on a display of profiles of people with invisible disability and also physical disabilities. And that is for Disabled History Month, which starts from the 22nd of November until the 22nd of December. Come and join me. For the rest of the year, my plans are 1. To create access routes and maps for those who actually use a manual wheelchair. And finally, I've got another fun campaign coming up. It's called Roll a Mile in My Wheels, where I'd like to get some of the able-bodied officers and probably some lecturers as well to actually go around campus for an hour in a wheelchair and see how it goes.
I'm Chelsea and I'm your Community Welfare Officer. I've been working on a green project with some other officers in the green team to get more vegetarian and vegan options available around campus. Later in the year, I'm hoping to host an alcohol-free event where everyone can just have fun, like take part in activities and not get drunk.
I'm Roisin and I'm the Sport and Health Officer. UWE has a fantastic varsity series which we are constantly trying to evaluate, monitor and improve. It's not always about the winning, and this year we're adding another mass participation event, the Cycling Sportive, to get more of you involved. We want to give you guys more opportunities to get involved and have your say how sport is run. So this year, working with Adam Britton, the VP Sport and Health, we have restructured the Sports Executive to give you more of those opportunities in organising our events. And finally, I'm working on a Women in Sport event for the end of this year, so watch this space.
My name's Laith Hampshire and I'm the Sustainability Officer. So one of my main highlights this year so far was the Tree Party, which was on Monday the 28th of September. It was an amazing day where over 1,000 students engaged with nearly 23 plus organisations, full of music, full of laughs, full of education, and it was an absolutely great day. The Green Team has received over 700 sign-ups this year as well, which is a new yearly record, which is amazing to see so many students want to get involved.
I'm Jem and I'm the Vice President for Societies and Communication. At the beginning of the year, we raised £1,200 for a local charity from the Society's Big Bristol Bar Crawl, built stronger relationships with departments to assist with setting up new academic societies, implementing the National Societies Awards to provide national recognition for societies through awards, refreshing refreshers to make it engaging for all, gain extra funding from the university to further develop our societies and encourage them to be more.
Hello, my name's Lauren Kane and I'm your Vice President of Education. Some of the campaigns that I'm currently working on is Be the Best That You Can Be. So this is all about the academic regulation changes and making sure that you guys are fit and healthy before you take an assessment or sit an exam. There's 101 things I wish I knew before I came to UWE. So this is aimed at international students. There's also working with the university for the self-certification document, which is evidence of an EC, which is really great. We have over 400 trained student reps, which is increasing every day with the new online video. And as always, I'm working on policies. One of these is the removal of fit to sit and completing policies such as officer question time.
Hi guys, I'm Adam, I'm the VP Sports and Health. So this year our biggest achievement is probably through the off-the-ball programme. We've had 832% increase in participation. For the rest of the year we've got the Varsity Series. Planning for that's well underway and hopefully this year will be the best series yet. I also want to work with part-time officers to ensure that we've got a bigger sporting community here at UWE and to ensure there's equality for all students.
So far this year, I've been looking after students with my Late Night Do It Right campaign, which I launched during Freshers. I had a team of people helping me out, making you tea and toast, delivering you pints of chips, and handing out flip-flops and condoms to make your night an even safer one. My main priority for the rest of the year is working on international students with my new campaign called 101 Things I Wish I'd Known Before Coming to UWE. This helps students with any issues they may face before coming to this country. And finally, working on taxis to improve their safety features and expenses so that it is safer to travel in and around Bristol.
I'm Jack, Student Union President. So far I've been working on 2 campaigns that I'll be launching very soon. The first is called Rent Smart, a housing campaign aimed at educating students on their rights when it comes to renting. We'll also incorporate a new partnership where students will be able to rate their landlords online, as well as making sure students get the best deal when it comes to renting. The second is the Safe Taxi Scheme. This is a tax campaign ensuring all students can get home no matter their financial situation. We will see the union partner with a taxi provider in Bristol to ensure they are the safest around.
Wow. Thank you very much. Can I ask that everyone who has any questions take this opportunity now to write them down on the sticky notes that you should have in your booklets. The SU staff are over here with their buckets. If you just hold it up, they will come round and collect all of your notes, and they will be brought to the front to be organised. While you are doing that, there's a couple of policy lapses that you as the students need to be made aware of. So the policies are like the SU's, the student union sort of things that are guiding their operations and stuff like that, and a lot of them come from events like this one in previous years. There are 3 policies that have expired this month. There's nothing that can be done on it now, but what you can do is you can ask for the policies to be reinstated at student council. So the 3 policies that are that have elapsed are a policy to implement sexual health awareness campaign, a policy to for the Board of Governors to improve student representation on the Board of Governors, and a policy to change the name and remit of the VP Sports to VP Sports and Health. So all of these things, if you want these sort of ideas to continue, so somebody needs to resubmit them as a motion for student council to vote on. Also, if you go onto the Student Union website on policy lapses, you'll be able to see that a number of other policies are going to lapse in January. There's quite a few, so I'm not going to go through them all now, but some of them are quite important. So do make sure to go and check those out. What we're doing at the moment, we're just going to have a quick 2-minute break while the DPC sort out all the questions, and then we'll proceed to asking them and receiving the answers from the executives.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the questions for the officers now. Okay, if it was asked last time. Okay. Okay.
Anyway, carry on.
Okay, so first one is, why is the front bench of officers so empty? Would anyone like to answer that one?
Some questions will have specific officers that they're addressed to. Some will just be general. In that situation, we just ask any of the officers present to elect one of themselves to come up and respond to that question.
It is noted that one officer is away on holiday and she wasn't able to change her plans, by the way.
Do you want to say who that was?
That's Jem, our VP Socks and Comms.
In terms of full-time officers, there's three of us. Jem's, as Jameen said, is on holiday. Scarlett's on a phase to work, so isn't here. Part-time officer-wise, we have had apologies from quite a few of them. They weren't able to make it for a second week in a row because they did have something planned this week, and it was unprecedented that it was on. So, sorry.
Very good.
From a democratic point of view, in the future, would it be possible to have a note published on the website for apologies? Thank you. The things sold in the SU shop are much more expensive than at other places. Shouldn't we try and sell at wholesale sale prices rather than try to make a student's already restricted budget even tighter?
Read them a little bit slower.
Okay. Yes, things are probably a bit more expensive. That is something that we have addressed and something that we are looking at, trying to lower prices. It's mainly due to budgets and having to make a surplus to fund other activities, but that is something that we can look into. But yeah, thank you.
Is it possible to include a bus pass with the student ID cards because they are expensive and buses hardly ever turn up? Would it be possible to include a bus pass with the student ID cards because the passes are expensive and the buses hardly ever turn up?
Okay, so from what I can imagine from the question, it's can the bus pass be included in the price, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, UWE used to subsidise Wessex, which meant that you got the bus pass included in your accommodation when you were here, but due to the complaints and the bad service from Wessex, they decided to stop that. So I can't see that happening anytime soon, to be honest. But if it was something that you wanted to do, you could probably submit an idea to the Student Council or the next SUM.
Are we getting a shopper shuttle?
Maybe. So we've been working on it today. Myself and our community manager are trying to work with Asda and Sainsbury's to try and get you a shopper shuttle. So, yeah.
What is being done to further include Bauer students in university life at UWE?
Okay, so with Bauer students, we are working with the campus officer for Bauer and with the, what's her role? The coordinator for Bauer, to try and basically put as much activities as possible. We realise that sometimes, even at campuses like Glenside and Bauer, what they want and what they need is different to students at Frenchay, so we're trying to basically adapt to what they want and what they need, but we're working on it. And here's Lauren.
So Bauer is currently going through kind of restructuring, and it's going to be called the City Campus. So it's also including Spike Island and Arnolfini, and obviously we've just purchased Arnolfini. So it's helping the students settle into this facility. I know that Bauer is having their new building there, so it's working with the developers on the plans for that. Any suggestions for Bauer students on if you don't feel you're being represented, can you let us know as well so we can raise that further? And I'm down at Bauer tomorrow, so yay.
Is it on? Oh, yeah. Will the university be joining in? Why is my curriculum white?
Yes, the union will be joining in with that because, like I said last time, it's working with the university, it's working with our students to make sure that we are a representative body, and yeah, we will be.
What has the LGBT officer done this year?
In this part of the meeting, only officers can respond to the questions. So if the LGBT officer isn't here to respond, then one of the other officers needs to respond for him.
Okay, so the LGBT officer has been working hard, as we know, to try and put on events, what's the word I'm looking for? He's got all his ideas down, it's just actually actioning them now. So we're all going to be working quite hard, like probably start of next semester to get everything he wants done. But yeah. Transgender awareness. Do you want to answer this?
Kevin, would you like to come up?
Go on. You probably know more.
Oh, well, the microphone, I guess, can be taken to you. It's for camera purposes.
It's all right. I can't really get on the X because my chair is far too big for that reason. Jack is not here at the moment, and the LGBT stuff that's actually happening in the LGBT world at the moment is actually sporadically coming through. For instance, last week was Transgender Awareness Week. We had the transgender flag actually was raised by the farmers on the corner there, so we celebrated that. Things are not happening on a wider scale, but things are breaking down. Next February, which is LGBT History Month, that's when most of the things will actually happen then. So look around, you'll see things are on campus, and it's going to be a fantastic month.
We're moving on to the next question now, because this is for officers' questions, sorry. The Rockefeller Institute have included Bristol in its 100 Resilient Cities initiative to promote resilience to the impact of peak oil, climate change and other exogenous shocks to the city. What are the major shocks to the union's activities that you foresee, and what actions are being taken to mitigate against them?
Would you like to read it again?
Yep. The Rockefeller Institute have included Bristol in its 100 Resilient Cities initiative to promote resilience to the impact of peak peak oil, climate change, and other exogenous shocks to the city. What are the major shocks to the union's activities that you foresee, and what actions are being taken to mitigate against them?
So as a minor point of clarification for the officers in case they are unaware, the general idea behind the Rockefeller resistance list is it's looking at institutions that are making moves towards sustainable energies and non-carbon reliance. So I think the gist of this question is, what is the university and the student union at UWE doing to make sure that we are carbon free and ready for any of the impacts of climate change?
Okay, so obviously working with Laith, the sustainability officer. So Jem and I also attended a sustainability conference last week in Bristol, and the whole global climate has risen by 1 degree, and that really shocked us, and I don't think that we're very aware that actually this is going to impact on our future generations. So we also went along to the Green Capital Awards, and we were networking with our university staff there and the energy people there. So we've set up meetings to discuss how the amount of energy that we are wasting, the money obviously for the costs of leaving lights on. So we'll be doing campaigns such as like turn your lights off, going into halls and helping them do the recycling, which obviously is another impact on climate change, etc. Does that answer your question? Can I see who asked that question, please? Hi, Pete. Okay. Can I have a microphone minute? Sorry.
The point about resilience is about what we know that can affect us and prevent us achieving our goals, and what we're doing to offset that negative impact.
Okay.
So whilst you've picked up on the green initiative that Leith has spearheaded at this university, you haven't picked up on the other exogenous shocks, such as the removal yesterday of all grants to an entire campus of students. You haven't picked up on the changes in further education, which will reduce the number of people eligible to be members of the union in future, and it's those shocks that I was referring to.
Okay, so obviously I'm going to take this away and then look into it further and then do a response blog, something like that. Thank you.
Last 2 questions. Would it be possible to have more nights at the SU for students who do not like house or top 50 music, such as known live bands or genre-specific nights?
Repeat the question because of the applause.
Would it be possible to have more nights on at the SU for students who do not like house or top 50 music, such as known live bands or genre-specific nights?
The only answer to that is if you have any specific people you want or bands or anything you want, if you email us, then we can quite literally just like book them. So if you tell us, we can do it. We can take budget, but like just stop someone else coming. So just swap them around. But yeah, just tell us and then we'll do it for you. Thanks.
Final question. What consultation has the union done around strategy with students? Hashtag students not suspects. That's an NUS hashtag for one of their campaigns as well. Yep. What consultation has the union done around the prevent strategy with students? Hashtag students not suspects.
Okay, so prevent is basically the government trying to put barriers and monitor what people are doing to prevent terrorism. It's something that has been quite controversial. The union, I know, has been working with the university to see what they can do to resolve the matter, I guess. I don't personally know what they are, but whoever asked the question, if they want to find out more, again, if you email us, I can get you an answer from the person that's dealing with that, but I can't now.
Thank you very much, officers, and thank you very much, students, for your very insightful questions. Next on the agenda, we would like to hear our affiliations, so we can vote on the affiliations. So if we do this similar to last week, if you go through each affiliation, give us a rough rundown of what they are and how our affiliation affects UWE and the students at UWE. and then we will vote on each one as we go through them.
Cool. Okay, so as Sean said, we're going to vote on each one. So if we go for the first one, NUS, and there's the blah blah. So NUS is obviously our national union students. They support us with campaigns, they give us money. Also, it helps with our commercial side. So, do you go to a vote?
Very well.
Yeah. So we're doing NUS, we'll do Bucks, and then we'll do all of them together.
We'll just, I'd prefer to vote on each individually rather than as a collective, because that way, if the students have a problem with one in particular, they can distress that through voting. So we'll vote on NUS. If you can, all those in favour of our affiliation with the National Union of Students, please raise your voting placards. You ready? And all those who are opposed? Noted. This affiliation stands. Next affiliation, please.
So we'll go on to VOSCA. So VOSCA supports, develops and represents Bristol's voluntary and community sector. It builds the capacity and advocates on behalf of local organisations so they can improve the quality of life of individuals and communities. It facilitates partnerships within and between the public, private and voluntary sectors to create social impact, reduce public spending and increase social inclusion. That's our affiliation with VOSCA.
Thank you very much. The DPC would like to remind that when you vote with your voting card, not with the booklet. Just a minor thing, but I was asked to remind everyone. Anyway, can I ask all students wishing to vote to maintain our affiliation with VOSCA to raise your cards now, please? And any students opposed? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our affiliation with VOSCA stands. Next, please.
Advice UK. So Advice UK provides the SU Advice Centre with professional support and guidance to carry out their service to students. It gives access to resources, training opportunities for staff and ongoing support throughout the year.
Okay. Can I ask all the students wishing to vote in favour of maintaining our affiliation? Please raise your placards. Voting cards, whatever you want to call them. And any students who are opposed? Thank you very much. This affiliation stands. And the final one, please.
There's Preschool Learning Alliance. So the Preschool Learning Alliance is the largest early years membership organisation to provider of quality and affordable childcare and education in England. An educational charity, the Alliance represents the interests of over 14,000 members settings who deliver care and learning to over 800,000 families every year.
My apologies, there appears to be a few more. Anyway, we will now vote on that. All those wishing to maintain our affiliation? And all those opposed? Thank you very much. And the next one?
Okay, so the National Association of Student Employment Services is used by the SU Job Shop to enable knowledge exchange, providing training for staff and the ability to go on conferences to further the work and opportunities available to students.
Okay, the DPC would like me to remind everyone to raise your voting cards high, and also that I call them voting cards, not placards. Bit of MUN spill. Anyway, all those students wishing to maintain our affiliation, please raise your placard, voting cards. And all those students who are opposed, thank you very much. Next, please.
Okay, so Bucks. Bucks is a national governing body for higher education support in the UK, a membership organisation and a company limited by a guarantee with charitable status. We must have a membership for Bucks to be eligible for our sport clubs to play in the Bucks leagues and competitions.
Okie doke. All those wishing to vote in favour of maintaining this affiliation, please raise your voting cards. And any students wishing to vote against? Okay, thank you very much. And is this the last one? Okay. Last one now, I promise.
Yeah, the last one. So the UK Council for International Student Affairs. The UK Council for International Student Affairs is the UK's national advisory body serving the interests of international students and those who work with them. It increases support for international education and raises awareness of its values and beliefs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Last one. Okay, thank you for that. These are... Oh, yeah, we have to do the vote. Terribly sorry, terribly sorry. All those students wishing to vote in favour of maintaining this final affiliation? And any students opposed, please? Thank you very much. This concludes the affiliations. Shall we do just a couple? All right, we are now moving into the meat of the meeting, as it were. This is where we will be talking about the ideas that have been submitted by students for students to be voted on by you, the students. The way this process works is we'll go. The motions have been pre-ordered by myself and the Democratic Procedures Committee. They've been ordered in generic alphabetical order. And we're going to go through. We will hear from the person submitting the idea. They will come and speak in favour of it. We will then hear from somebody wishing to speak against the motion. We have to hear one for and one against. Then we will move on to sort of your comments, either for or against. But for every comment for or against we hear, we have to hear an opposing comment. There will also be time for any proposed amendments that students have. Amendments work in two ways. You have friendly amendments, which are supported by the person who submitted the idea in the first place, and that might be something like changing some spelling or whatever. And then you have unfriendly amendments, which are amendments that aren't necessarily supported by the person who submitted the idea in the first place, and these have to be voted on by the whole student body. Oh yeah, which one is it? Just as a note, the housing watchdog motion we cannot do today. The person who submitted it is unable to attend, and because they can't speak in defense of it, we can't talk about it today. However, what we and I, as the chair, and the Democratic Procedures Committee have decided to do is that will stay on the agenda. It will move forward to Student Council, so anyone who wants to talk on that issue can go there or can talk to your representatives who will be there for you in January. Anyway, we can get cracking with the first idea. If you bear with me one moment. Which one? Okay, the first idea is the commitment to sustainability. Can I have the person who submitted this idea come down to the X to speak in front of it? Leith, Hampshire. Okay, yeah. So if you stand on the floor.
Hello. My name is Leith Hampshire. I'm the Sustainability Officer over here at the Students' Union. My idea and policy is really just to sort of get the union to have sort of an overriding umbrella related to sustainability. And the fact is that we do some amazing sustainable stuff. However, I feel there needs to be sort of like an umbrella that says that we are going to do it every single year and that we're going to strive to have sustainable aspects all throughout the union. Furthermore, this policy is also pushing us as a union should be lobbying the university to integrate sustainability into the whole entire curriculum. So obviously sustainability is a very important matter. Us being the green capital, us living on this massive thing we call Earth is quite an important thing as well. So having the union and the UWE pushing sustainability, I feel is very important, and I really hope that everyone else does as well. So that is my idea.
So, if you've got nothing else to say, thank you. Does any student wish to speak against this idea? If you can raise your voting card to signal. What? No? Well, if there's no one wishing to speak against it, is there anyone who would like to submit amendments to this idea? Can we have the amendment from the back? If you just wait for a microphone.
You mentioned about it being taught kind of more. Like, where would it be taught? And if it's specific subjects, which subjects? And how does it integrate into kind of all subjects?
Okay, so yeah, so my policy idea is based around sustainability getting integrated into the whole entire curriculum. So that's whether that's obviously a module or even a session in every single subject to talk about sustainability. And I strongly believe, please feel free to correct me, but there can be an aspect of sustainability in every single subject, from geography to history to entrepreneurship to business to wildlife conservation. Every aspect can have something to do with educating yourself about the planet and what we can do as students, as a rising generation, to make a change towards the planet. Does that answer your question? Also, actually, I'd like to add to that. We're going to be doing loads of workshops as part of the student union as well. If you have any ideas about getting sustainability out to students, I'm approachable. Please come speak to me. I want to hear your ideas and, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you said this doesn't answer my question. Yes, to an extent. So I study audio and music technology, and like I understand my course is quite a, like, for, take the class example, power. It can be quite a big drain of power to all the stuff we use. But my course is very, very full of like my course as it is, and we have a few recording studios, with about 4 of them I think, for the whole course, and they're pretty much always solidly booked. So there isn't really time. So if you ran a session, the odds on my course, people probably wouldn't turn up because they'd be busy doing their coursework.
So potentially integrating an aspect of sustainability into your coursework, like maybe going outside into the forest and making music, or using nature to make music. I don't know, but all I'm saying is I completely respect where you're coming from, and I completely understand that. If your head of course wants to come and speak to me and sit down with the sustainability committee, and then we can try and solve that issue. But that's a very interesting thing, so thank you for raising that.
Yeah, thank you very much. We would just like to remind students that this time was supposed to be for any potential amendments. Questions, we had asked for the questions and they hadn't come. So we're going to move on, unless there are any amendments that someone would like to make to this idea, we'd like to move on. We did ask for questions.
You didn't. You just asked us if we opposed it.
Yeah, it's true, bro. We did ask for questions.
I don't mind taking more questions. I'm quite enjoying this.
Can we have another round of speeches to resolve that? Meeting action 1.
Is there... So wait, what? We have to have someone to oppose if we want another round. We can only have another round of speeches if there's someone willing to oppose it, apparently. Is there anyone? Which is... we'll move straight to the vote. Is there anyone who wishes to speak against this action? Is there anyone wishing to speak against it? No? Then we'll go straight to the vote on this idea. So, first of all, can I ask for all students wishing to vote in favour of passing this idea to raise your voting cards now? Raise them up nice and high so they can be counted, please. Thank you very much. Okay, this idea is passed. The Democratic Procedures Committee would like to make a quick note on the order of how we do things. Hopefully this will avoid future confusion.
Hi there. I'd just like to make the point, because I did notice there were some people who were slightly dissatisfied with not being able to ask any questions. Usually the way these things run is we go for motions for and against. We then do any amendments, and then once that is done, we ask questions then before we put it to a vote. Okay? Is that clear with everybody? Is that all right? Okay.
Can you wait for the mic, please?
Can I sit down? Thank you for voting, guys. Thank you.
If there are more people opposing an idea than there are people going for it, does that mean that not everybody who is opposed to it will have a chance to speak? Since you said that for everybody who speaks against it, we have to get somebody for. So say somebody speaks against it, but they can't get somebody for it. Does that mean that the other people who are against the motion can't speak about the issue?
Purely for the interests of time and the progression of the meeting, yes. So we have as a general rule, it has to be a balanced debate. So you have to, for every point you hear in favour, you have to hear a point against, and so on and so forth. And if there's lots of people wishing to speak for and against an issue, we will generally cut it off at about after 5 points for and against, just because we have to keep the meeting going and we can't get bogged down on one. It wasn't two, it was five. Anyway, that idea did pass, so congratulations to the submitter and to the students. Okay, we're just going to have a question.
I just want to have a question that surely it would need to be that you have questions before the voting. So if anyone has questions about that policy, they could have that answered, and then they can be fully in the knowledge about that policy before voting.
So the way that we've got written down to do it is you have the motion for and then motion against if there is anyone, amendments and then questions before voting. Amendments are made before questions, so people are able to ask questions on the amended motion before it goes to vote. Is that okay?
Yeah, so as we move forward, there will always be the questions before the voting. There was just a bit of confusion here, and from the students, it seems, on that first one, but it looks like it was unanimously supported, or nearly unanimously supported anyway. Now, which one's the next one? Okay, so the next idea that we need to discuss is more dancing in Off the Wall. So who's speaking for that? What's the name? Let's just look on yours. Can you come on down and speaking for it?
Hi, hello everyone. I check will present for me my idea.
Okay, guys. I'm RJ. Basically, Anne proposes that currently there are no dance activities within the Off the Wall programme. We want basically to add some activities in. It has been shown that dance can improve balance, improvement on walking speed, reaction times, cognitive thinking, and also a number of other areas as well. Dancing is also good for mood changes, in a positive way, of course. It's shown to reduce depression, anxiety, stress, increase self-esteem, and also a number of areas alongside these as well, which are listed within the booklet.
Is that everything you wanted to say in favour for? Are there any students wishing to speak against this idea? Oh, we have one. Can you come down to the front, please? Well, I thought
If you'd like to sit down.
because no, you bring them down to the front for the first
If
one.
you'd like to
don't
sit
you?
down.
So there should be a microphone for you here. If you say your name and then just give us a rundown of why you think the union should not endorse this idea.
Hi, my name's Ainsley. It seems that if the dance club offers a lot of points, reduced depression, better mood, that all of the other clubs that are involved in the off-the-wall program, already offer. And I believe we do have a dance club at UWE. Then they can surely just submit the form as every other club did this year and be accepted without a motion at this meeting.
Okay, thank you. You can we just have your name for the notes?
Sure. It's Ainsley.
Thank you. You can go and sit back down. Is there any other students wishing to speak in favour of this idea? We can only take another point in idea in favour if there are also people wishing to speak against, though.
There are people against it.
There are people against it as well. All right, so
It's either speak for or
so can we have somebody to speak for it?
would you like to speak against? See if Do anyone else in the room want to speak against this motion? No. Okay, there's no need for a second round of speeches. Adam? No, sorry.
It's clarification on why the motion's been submitted.
Shall we allow it?
Yeah, okay.
And just as a point of reference, the motion hasn't been submitted by a member of any dance club, and also Off the Wall actually provides activity for people not wishing to join a prescriptive club. So that's the reason why this motion has been put forward by a member of just a normal student who hasn't gone through any club thing, and she maybe doesn't want to actually subscribe to an official club at UWE because the membership is slightly higher than the £10 fee that then gives you access to everything else through Off the Wall. So just that.
Okay.
Sorry, just like to remind anybody who does come up to speak, could you stand on the X, please, just so the people on the live feed can see you. Thank you.
All right, so next part of this process, I'd like to ask the student body if there are any amendments that the students would like to propose for this idea. You'd raise your little card if you have anything.
Yeah, one.
Okay, so we're just getting a mic up. If you can explain what your amendment is, and then we will go to the submitters of the idea. If they are okay with the change, then there'll be no need for a vote. If you can say your name first.
Hello, my name's Danny Betts.
Thank you.
I'm fully in support of this idea. I think it'll be very fun, but at the same time, I feel like it would be a good idea if the organisers of this would do something to help people with physical disabilities or other disabilities which may prevent them from dancing, getting involved and finding ways which they can also have fun in the same way they could dance, or if they can't dance for whatever reason, other things they could do which to do with music. I think I've worded that really badly, but yeah.
What would be the amendment here?
For them to take into consideration disabled students.
You want there to be a point that says there needs to be provisions provided
Yes.
for disabled students
Yeah.
in the provision of this service. Okay, so we can add. Would the submitters of this idea be opposed to the addition of this point?
Only that in the Off the Wall programme we already have, there is written into the programme that everything should hopefully provide a provision for disabled students. already. So every activity.
That's fine, but the students clearly want to see this idea encapsulated in the motion you've submitted.
Okay, that's fine.
Are you opposed to that?
I'm not opposed to it. I was just saying.
Then, no, that's fine. It's just for us in terms of procedure, because if you were, we'd have to vote on it. But if you're okay with it, we can just add that in. So it's provision. So Danny, we need your wording, please.
Can someone give him a mic?
Yeah.
For provisions to be made specifically for disabled students.
So provisions to be made for specifically for disabled students.
There's no need to specify if it's physical because, like, learning difficulties would count under
Yeah.
all students with disabilities.
Okay. There's no. Don't worry, Kevin. There's no need to specify type of disability. Disability encompasses.
Does the motion holder agree with that amendment? Where is she?
We already.
No, because he's just made another one.
So, so that's the amendment. You're. Yeah. The mic isn't on. Hold on one second.
I'm so happy to info this about dance because I see in before I see in the UWE dance have just a little bit program to for students, so that's why I would like to have more choice for students in of the world, and it's all about need to less the cost to UWE students to come and join this because I see have.
So that's a yes. You're okay for this change. Yeah. Excellent. So we now open up to questions from the student body about this this idea. Do any of the students have questions? If you have a question, raise your card as high as you can. No? No? Oh, there is a question at the back. Just wait for the microphone, please.
What would this motion achieve at an SUM that wouldn't be achieved by requesting it from the dance committee?
Who would like to answer that? Either the submitter can answer that, or the VP Sport can answer. Yeah.
Can you repeat the question, please?
What would passing this motion at an SUM achieve that you couldn't get from approaching the dance committee exec?
If I'm not saying the person who submitted the motion didn't approach the dance committee, but if the dance committee didn't wish potentially if they didn't want to actually provide the service within Off the Wall as other clubs do, then it is actually quite valid to come to an SUM to actually include it within a programme that's already submitted and we've actually submitted our funding for, because we now have to reapply for submission of funding.
Okay. Are there any other questions? No? Okay, so we will go to vote on this idea. Can I ask that all the students wishing to vote in favour of this idea, please raise your cards now. Raise them nice and high for the counting. Thank you very much. Can all those wishing to vote against, please raise your cards. 4, we're not doing 6. Okay. This idea also passes. Congratulations to the submitters and to the students.
Bye.
Wait, if she's not here, is
Someone might ask if anyone's
willing to speak in favour.
Well, we didn't do that for the housing one.
She
so-
might have a second issue, we don't know.
Okay, so the next one is the more vegetarian and vegan options at the SU food providing services. Now the submitter is Chelsea, but she's not here, but I believe, Ahmed, you're going to speak in favour of this? Very good. If you come to the front, please.
Hello everybody, I'm Ahmed and I'm your Frenchay campus officer. Today I'm presenting the idea of Chelsea.
Sorry, could you just stand on the X, please? Okay. Thank you.
Just a reminder, you have a total of 3 minutes.
Yeah. Today I'm presenting the idea of Chelsea about vegetarian and vegan food to be more options. Basically, you know that we have a lot of vegetarian and vegan students here in UWE. It doesn't matter how many they are, but they are number, and we should care about those students. It's hard to find vegetarian and vegan food in the SU bar and the SU shop. There are some, but there are very few, which is inconvenient for many of them. And Chelsea, the idea submitter, she believes, and a lot of students also believe, that we need to insert more options in the menu for the SU bar and also in one zone, the cafeteria and the SU shops. So that's why I'm trying today to approach you to vote for this idea, to include more vegetarian and vegan food. The union will provide more vegetarian and vegan food options in the SU shop and the SU bars, work with the university so that retailers, such as One Zone, provide more vegetarian and vegan cooked meals, improve the labeling of food in the SU retailers and university retailers so it's clear what isn't vegan and vegetarian, and promote meat-free Mondays in the SU outlets and encourage university retailers to do the same. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any students who would like to speak against this idea? Okay. The one up at the middle there? If you'd like to come down, please. And remember to stand on the cross, and you'll have a maximum of 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hello. I do agree with the fact that vegan food should be promoted and like there should be more of it. But with the whole no meat Monday, I feel like as much as we do respect other people's choices, I feel like we should make it equal. So you can't make it so that the people that are not into vegan food would like not have the choice on a Monday. And also, as you said, there are already some vegan food available. So I feel like it's okay, since the number is not that much, it's okay to have like that amount, except you would say that they should make specific days, or like specific days where that food could be provided, like more of that could be provided. But for it to be like equal, I don't think it's right if the number of vegans are not equal. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You may return to your seat. Can I just make a quick note to all those in attendance? If you need to talk while someone is giving a speech or something, please do whisper as quietly as you can, just because it can be quite distracting for the person who's trying to talk. Now, are there any other people wishing to speak in favour? If we can have everyone who wants to speak in favour and against, hold up your hand. Sorry, right. Before we can hear another person in favour, we need to make sure there's someone who can speak against. So is there anyone who would like to speak against this as well? Yes? Is there?
No, I can see.
So there's nobody else who wants to speak against this? No. So now we proceed to amendments. Are there any students who would like to submit an amendment to this?
Not an amendment? What?
Yeah. Microphone's just coming.
He put his hand, he shook his head. I don't know what he's
All right. It's point 4, the meat-free Mondays, promoting that. I'd like to see that. Fine. Yeah.
Okay, so can we have your name?
James Arrowsmith.
Okay, thank you. And your motion, your amendment is what?
Scrapping point 4 entirely.
Scrapping point 4 entirely.
Yeah.
Can I ask the motion submitter, would you be opposed to this change?
The person in her place.
Yes.
Ahmed, would you be in favour of scrapping point 4?
I'm not against, but just I would like to clarify something in response to the thing that it's the few number only of vegetarian vegan students.
I'm really sorry, but now is not necessarily the time for that. So just if you would be opposed to removing point 4 or not?
No, of course not.
No, you wouldn't. You sure? Okay.
Can I just point out that a meeting point 6 is being called, which means that we need to vote on each part of the motion separately. So that means that if we kept 4 in, we'd have to vote on it, and if it passed or not, that's what would happen. So as long as Ahmed's okay with scrapping point 4, yeah. Okay.
No.
Ahmed, are you 100% sure that you want to scrap point 4? Okay. He doesn't want to scrap point 4, so
Okay, right. Well, unfortunately, he's the only person we have to speak.
He was appointed as her.
Yeah, he was appointed as her representative, so it has to be him that makes the call. So in terms of this amendment, we will because it is opposed by the submitter of the idea or their representative, we have to vote on it. So can all the students wishing to remove point 4, please?
Can you wait?
Yes. The procedure that we use, unfortunately, does not allow for that.
Action point 1.
Another round of speeches. Okay, action point 1 is to have another round of speeches. All the students who would like to have another round of speeches, please raise your voting cards. All the... See, that's what I was doing, and they shouted at me. Order. Can all the students wishing to vote against another round of speeches please raise your cards? All right. The DPC has informed me that we can resolve this issue immediately by voting on motion point 6. Meeting action point 6. So as Amelia described, what that action requires is for us to vote on each individual requirement of this idea. So if the students are against one, they can vote against it, and then it can be removed that way without the use of amendments. So what we will do, we will have to vote on meeting action 6. So just to confirm, meeting action 6 says that we have to vote on each aspect of this idea, and any aspects that get defeated will be removed by us. So can all the students wishing to support meeting action 6, please raise your voting cards now. And it would allow for clarification, yes. So all those wishing to vote for meeting action 6, that will make us vote on each aspect of the idea, please raise your cards now.
Please raise them as high as you can so we can definitely see them.
I think that's
please.
Overwhelming.
Thank you.
That is overwhelming.
There's been a request to ask for questions after motion for and against.
Well, we'll do that when we move to the next one. Okay. So.
We'll have a round of speech for each one if there's someone.
So yeah.
Okay, everyone. So that passes. So the procedure now, if we can just have some return to order. Thank you very much. So the way that this is going to work, we're going to go through each of these points. We can hear one person for and one person against, provided there are people wishing to speak for and against. And we can do it on the point. There will also be room for clarification. But we and and then we'll vote on each. So in terms of the okay. So Amelia is going to take over for this little, so we can try and get through this as quickly as possible.
Is there anybody that wishes to speak against point 1, provide more vegetarian and vegan food options in the SU shops and bars? Is there anyone against this section?
No.
Okay, so can we go straight to a vote on that section? All those in favour of providing more vegetarian and vegan food options in the SU shops and bars? That's overwhelming. Thank you very much. Okay, point 2, work with the university so that its retailers, such as One Zone, offer more vegetarian and vegan cooked meals. Is there anyone that wishes to speak against that section? No, let's go straight to a vote. All those in favour? Okay, thank you, overwhelming. Point 3, improve the labelling of foods in SU retailers and university retailers so that it's clear what is and isn't vegan and vegetarian. Anyone against this section? Let's go straight to a vote. Thank you. And the final point, promote meat-free Mondays in SU outlets and encourage university retailers to do the same. Is anyone wishing to speak against this section? Okay, we have someone at the back wishing to speak against it. Is there anyone wishing to speak for? Okay, Adam had his card up first. If Adam would like to come to the front of the podium and stand on the cross, please. If the student wishing to speak against could also come down and wait for afterwards. Okay, Adam, you have 2 minutes.
It's just a really quick point. I've been working with Chelsea and Leith to sort of help implement this as well. We're not actually suggesting that we're going to scrap meat from the menu on a Monday. It's just that we help provide students with the knowledge that you can eat less meat on a Monday, and it just happens to be that meat-free Mondays, there's a little ring to it. Otherwise, it could be like, we might have decided to get rid of it on a Tuesdays or a Wednesday, but it's just to try and promote that you can eat meat one day less a week, rather than actually scrapping meat from the menu completely on that day. So we will still serve meat on a Monday at our SU shops. So, yeah.
Thank you, Adam. If the other student could just take the mic and stand on the cross and say your name, please, and then state your argument. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Harry. On the start, that I slightly misread the board. I'll put that there. Now, after I've had a slight more clarification. Starting with that, I'm against a completely meat-free Monday, and I'm against kind of people being sort of shoehorned into things they don't want to do. So I don't have a problem with it being promoted that you don't have to eat as much meat, but it's the case of that if you push this too hard, you can almost start forcing people or pushing a very strong kind of image that you shouldn't eat meat on Mondays. And then in that respect, that could be against, not against health and well-being of people, but against certain aspects and ethical stuff, basically.
Thank you very much. So just, I think as a point of clarification for everyone, I think there was a bit of a sigh in the room there. Point 4 doesn't enforce a completely meat-free Monday. It encourages students not to eat meat on a Monday. That's correct? Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, are there any other students wishing to speak against this point 4? We'll come to that when we come to that. Is there anyone wishing to speak against it? Point 4?
No.
No. Very well. Then we can go on to, can all the students wishing to vote in favour of point 4, please raise your placards. Yes. We're doing the amendments after this part.
No, because if we
vote against, if you vote in removing this part,
Huh?
we're voting to remove
Oh,
this part.
do we still have to do that amendment? Okay, all right. No, sorry, that was my apologies. I didn't realise we still had to do that amendment. So the amendment is to remove point 4, so we have to vote on that first.
Someone wants to propose an amendment.
Somebody wants to propose an amendment. All right, okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry. The line of communication, it's a bit shaky at the moment. Right. So, yes.
Okay, did anyone want to make an amendment to point 4? Okay, Kevin had his hand up first. Can someone bring... Oh, sorry, Hannah. Could you just say your name as well, please?
James again.
Hi.
I changed my view and want to scrap it. Obviously, now it's been clarified. Then can we reword it because it says promote meat-free, which suggests that there will be no meat options on a Monday. Can we have sort of encourages instead?
Is the motion holder, Ahmed, okay with that? Just yes or no? It's just a yes or no we want from you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes? Just leave it on. Democracy, everyone. Are there any other amendments to be made? All right, so there are microphones coming.
Kevin Wilson, it was just the same thing as well. So instead of just encourage, so just say less meat on a Monday rather than just clarify.
We've covered that, I'm afraid.
My name is Nathan Hampshire. Could we encourage meat-free every day in the Students' Union?
That wasn't an amendment. There were some amendments at the back. All right, so can the microphones... So say your name and say what your proposed change is, please.
Ben Tatton. I'd like to point out that at the second, we've had a point earlier that everybody unanimously voted on, saying that sustainability is absolutely key, going to be incorporated in every single aspect of UWE, education-wise, sort of publication-wise, and if...
Sorry, what is the amendment that you'd like to make?
Sorry, okay. Can we please have it then that we're going to be making sure that vegan and vegetarian meals are in line with prices of sort of equivalent meat alternatives, if that's all right? Everybody.
So you'd like another point to be added to the idea,
also like
saying that vegan and vegetarian options will be kept at the
equivalent rate.
Fair, comparable prices.
Yeah, and also just because I don't really feel like this point's been made, and it's in direct conflict with something we previously sort of voted on, which nullifies that meat-free Mondays isn't to offend meat eaters. It's really, really not. I'm pretty sure no vegetarian wants to go, or vegan for that matter, wants to stop anybody
That
from
has
doing
been
something
clarified. Sorry, it's not an amendment.
I don't think it has, though, honestly.
It has.
No, it hasn't.
It's been
Not
noted by
fully.
the union, and it's not an amendment, and I'm afraid we don't have time to go into further discussion at this point. There is
so
can we just decide on the wording of that, please? Matt, he needs the mic just to agree on the wording.
So yeah, just to confirm the wording of your proposed change, it's to ensure that vegan and vegetarian options are priced fairly and comparably with non-vegetarian options.
Yeah.
Is Ahmed okay with that change? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this.
Okay, and then one more amendment.
Okay, we have another amendment at the back.
Could you just say your name before you start?
My name is David. It's an amendment to point 4 again, basically saying to encourage people to participate in meat-free Mondays, not encouraging meat-free Mondays, if that makes sense.
Okay. Ahmed, are you okay with that? Pardon? Yeah, sorry, could you repeat that for Ahmed? He didn't quite hear it.
So to change the start of point 4 to say encourage people to participate in meat-free Mondays.
Okay, so do you want to make it? Yep.
Ahmed is okay with that change.
Encourage people to participate.
Encourage people to participate. Are there any further amendments? Oh yeah, one more.
Encourage students to participate in meat-free Mondays.
I think the 0.5 is unfair because a lot of people would choose to become vegan or vegetarian to save money. So maybe if the prices were risen for those meals to match the meat ones, then that would be sort of unfair.
I think by comparably it meant, I can seek clarification from the person that mentioned it, but comparably meaning that they would be cheaper because they don't have meat in. Is that right?
Can we get a microphone up there, please? Sorry, could you hang fire for a second whilst we get a microphone too so everyone can hear you?
Vegan food is generally more expensive because it takes more effort to produce because you can't use the cheaper products. Therefore, generally, vegan food is more expensive. All I was saying was, can we try and make sure that vegan food is comparable with that of meat alternatives, not more or less purely equal? So it's not more costly to be vegan.
Would better wording be possibly something like ensure that vegan and vegetarian options are priced fairly?
Yeah, fairly priced.
Okay. Compared to?
Is the other amendment submitter happy with this change also? And Ahmed, are you okay? Okay. Yes. So now what we need to do is we need to vote on this motion as a whole. So with all of the changes that have been made, do we do the summary first? No. No. Okay. So can I ask all the students who wish to vote in support of this idea, please raise your voting cards now. This is unanimous. This idea is passed. Congratulations to the submitter and to the student union. Okay. Right. Next on the list is Nightline, submitted by Sean Hampson. Can Sean please come down to speak and give us a little 3-minute rundown of what your Nightline proposal is and why the students should support it? Oh, well, I'll do that now. Before we hear from Sean, there have been several requests to change the order by which the chair goes through these ideas. So the proposed change is that we move questions forward so they come after the for and against statements and before amendments. So can I ask for all those wishing to vote in favour of this change of procedure to please raise your placard now? That's a majority. Thank you very much. So the way we will now do it, we will have the ideas submitted. We will hear points for and against. We will then have questions, and then we will hear for amendments, and then we will do the vote at the end. Okay, Sean, if you'd like to come onto the cross.
I'm in the right place, yeah. Cool. Hello? Cool. Oh, everyone's been really loud. Can you be quiet, please? Thanks. Okay, yeah, I'm getting my teacher on now. Hi, I'm Sean. I'm the president of the Mental Health Campaign here at UWE. For those that know me might know I'm quite passionate about mental health and student welfare. So tonight I have a question for you. It's late in the evening, you're going through some sort of emotional crisis. Your friends aren't answering the phone, or maybe you don't want to talk to them about what's happening. Who are you going to call? And I'm going to give you a little hint here now, Kevin. I knew it would be you. It's not Ghostbusters. They know nothing about student welfare, but it's also not going to be the Wellbeing Service either, because by this time they're out of office. So this is why I'm proposing a Nightline service. For those that you don't know, Nightline is a national charity. It has services running successfully in universities across the country. It's non-judgmental, non-advisory. It simply just listens when other services are not going to be there. It's also run by students and for students. The support comes in various different ways, so through instant messaging, phone calls, emails, texting, and there are a lot of benefits obviously to this. So firstly, it improves your employability. As a student, UWE absolutely love employability. Honestly, they talk about it all the time. It looks really good on your CV. It can also be used as a placement for psychology students or nursing students. But most importantly, it provides support for our most vulnerable students. Through my role in the mental health campaign and through my job, I see so many student welfare issues. and we're just crying out for a service like this. If that hasn't convinced you enough, I've got some testimonials from the London Nightline. So one said it was very helpful and it was friendlier than other services I used. And another, which I thought was very poignant, said, Nightline saved my life last night, thank you. Obviously, with any kind of service like this, there's going to be pitfalls. So I'm going to address a couple of these. First of all, adverse effects on students and kind of the welfare impact. So there's a limit on the amount of shifts that each student can do per term, and that's 6 shifts. This just makes sure that no one gets too tired out, and that the work shared equally. The students are always always buddied up, and there's safeguarding put in place by Nightline to make sure that any things that are discussed whilst they're receiving support doesn't affect them too much. Training also is provided by Nightline. They're an amazing charity, so yeah, they know what they're doing. Another point could be that there are other services in Bristol. Research conducted by Nightline has shown that students are more likely to go to their peers to get support rather than the university. And my last point would be obviously money issues. In case you haven't noticed, UWE have spent a lot of money recently. You've got Walscourt Park 2, the new business building. They've got the money to fund this, and Steve West is constantly talking about mental health, so I don't see why we couldn't get the money from the university. Thank you. Please vote for Nightline.
Thank you very much. The chair would now like to hear from any students who would like to speak against this motion. Okay, if you can come to the front, please. You'll have a maximum of 3 minutes. We will notify you at the 1 minute and 30-second mark.
Okay, so you've already got a wellbeing service. Yes, it isn't 24 hours at the moment, but surely money that could go into Nightline could be better off spent making the wellbeing service more accessible. Alongside that, we've got access to other services outside of the institution. We've got Samaritans. As a union, we also pay a subscription to Advice UK. And also, there are other services online which are accessible for student advice and support should they be required. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other students wishing to speak against this motion? Huh?
Yes, there is, so we need someone to speak for it.
Okay, so there is. So is there anyone else wishing to speak for this? Okay. So can the person wishing to speak against, will have a microphone sent to you?
No, people will come down first, and then it's for and against.
Oh, okay. All right, so we'll have a mic sent to Pete, and
Pete comes down here.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Only the first two come down. Well, he doesn't have to come down. He could have stayed. Yeah, according to procedure, the way it works is that only the first two will come down to the front for the future. So just so everyone's clear on that. Anyway, go ahead, Pete.
Okay, some of you may know that I'm the father of the house. I've been here since the last millennia, 1999. It's a very long time, it's a lot of change. And when I joined this university, we had a Nightline service. What this motion asks for, what this idea calls for, is the restoration of something that was taken away. This is a national organisation which, when I was a student in Plymouth in 1988, before many of you were born, was saving lives, was providing information, was the peer that stayed awake all night, that helped out, that answered the difficult questions that students didn't feel were being addressed elsewhere. Yes, we have improved the wellbeing service, but every year, even in the year that I was governor of this university representing 30,000 students, we have students who take their life in our halls of residence because there is no out-of-hours service to help them. And I think one life lost out of our student body is too many. So this is an out-and-hours service provided by students, for students, that takes us back to the place when I began here at the university. where we did have it, we did benefit from it, and it made a difference. So I call upon you to support the idea, as I have been involved with Nightline. I know the difference it makes, and I commend the idea to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I believe there was someone wishing to speak against this, so we'll have a microphone taken to you. Ideally, you're not supposed to, but because Pete did, go on. Run! Run, Forrest, run! Yeah, remember just to say your name for the notes.
Hello, my name is Danny Betts. I've had a lot of time to think about this Nightline, and on paper it does seem like a very good idea, but you have to take into consideration... Shit, I'm nervous. You have to take into consideration that if it is a listening service which doesn't offer advice, then what's the point in it? If you're going to be... the sort of people who would phone that service late at night when they're in an emotional state aren't going to be the people who you can just listen to and they'll be okay. You're going to be dealing with people in seriously negative states. You're not going to be dealing with people who you can just listen to and say they're okay and they'll be fine. And so I don't believe that simply a listening service, which, because like in Sean's own word, it's non-advisory, and if it's non-advisory and if it's non-judgmental, then what does it do? And on the Nightline website, it says it actually offers emotional support. So, and emotional support would mean that is advisory. So that means, what? All right. My main argument would be simply that the sort of people who you would have calling this Nightline are not going to be the sort of people who the average student would be able to deal with alongside exams, alongside university work. It's not the sort of thing you can get enough training for alongside exams, alongside university work. This is not something you can do in your spare time. It's something you will have to dedicate your full energy to in order to deal with the sort of people who need that sort of mental support. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If there's more than one round, they cancel it.
Should we ask for one more?
No, Sean wants to...
Should we ask for one more round of for's and against?
Yeah, if there's one more against it.
Okay, can we... Is there one more person wishing to speak against?
So summation.
No? Okay, so we now have summation. So can Sean come down? You've got 1 minute just to sum up this idea and what it would mean for the union.
Can I just look at what order I'm doing it in a sec? Give me a sec. Okay, sorry. Hi. So firstly, can I just address the points that Robert J made and Danny? Sorry, I forgot your name. I do know it. Firstly, there's no, obviously, like you said, there's the wellbeing service. It doesn't offer out-of-hours support. As in my position within the union and my job, I know when most emotional kind of crises happen, it's in the night time, it's when all the offices are going to be shut. As well, along with saying that we have the advice centre, Nightline is not advisory, as Danny has told us, so I don't think that's a valid point. And when Danny said that, obviously, what's the point if it's just a listening service, I know, as well as a lot of people probably in this room, that listening can save life. Just having someone there to listen to you when you're going through whatever crisis is happening can be one of the most important things that could possibly happen. I don't really know what else to say, but please vote for this motion because
all right, Sean, that's the minute up.
It can save a life. Thanks.
Thank you. Right. No questions. Now, what we would like to hear is if there are any questions from the students to the motion supporter. So, Sean, can you come back up to the front, please? It's all right, don't worry. So we have time for up to 3 questions. So is there anyone wishing to ask a question? Okay, so we've got someone up at the back.
Hello. I just wanted to know at what times would the Nightline run? From what time to what time?
Sorry, guys. There's 2 mics roaming. So we just need to...
Hi, I don't particularly want to say a time because I don't know the logistics of it yet. It's something that could be figured out at a later date. But generally, it'll be like when normal office hours, like outside of normal office hours, so maybe like 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. But that's just a suggestion.
Question, please. Yeah, so Adam's next. Sorry. Anyway, we'll go.
Okay. I want to ask a quick question about the training offered with Nightline, because obviously Danny's point is that you are going to be focusing on more severe mental disorders when it's at night time. So, for example, you're going to be dealing with people that are dissociating, may have a manic episode, maybe having a panic attack, maybe feeling suicidal. I just wanted to know what training is actually going to be provided for that, because, for example, Childline and Samaritans need 100 hours of training and a vast number of experience in order to deal with that. And I'm not happy to vote on this if I don't feel that the training provided is going to be adequate, because you are going to be putting people's lives at risk if it is not.
Cool. There is absolutely no way that we'll be providing the service if the people that are providing it were not trained. Nightline are established in doing this, and they provide training. They know exactly what program to run, exactly what training is needed. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest this service if I didn't think it would do a good job. There's no way I would let that risk kind of go to students. I don't know how many hours, but like I said, like the logistics can come later. It doesn't need to be done now. At the moment, we just need the student union. I've had it confirmed to me by the student union when I put this forward that the logistics don't need to happen now, that all we need to do is get the motion forward.
The chair can confirm that both statements carry legitimacy in the sense that when ideas are passed at the student union meeting, the students' union generally then goes ahead and starts planning out the logistics of precisely how something will be implemented and operated. But with that said, it is often helpful that ideas that are submitted do come with recommendations on exactly how the logistics can be made. So both points are legitimate. We have another question to get through, Sean. Yeah, we'll let you finish your response.
I don't want to like just make random, like pull things out of the air and say, yeah, we're going to give 100 hours, because I don't know at this point, and from the information that I've been given, I wasn't meant to bring logistics here. It's simply just getting the mandate from the students to run this service, but everything will be risk assessed and it'll be a good service, and I would not let the service run if it wouldn't help.
The DPC just want me to remind people that those kinds of recommendations on specifics of logistics and things like that can be done through amendments, just so everyone's clear. Now, there was one more question down at the front that the DPC wanted. Well, if there's only a couple more, then I'm happy to go through them as well. Okay, so we'll go to this one first, and then we will hear the last couple. I think this is an important issue, so I think we need to hear everyone's thoughts.
With risk of sounding maybe naive, what difference is something like Nightline to something that maybe like, I don't know, the Samaritan service or something that is maybe around it? Maybe I don't know too much about it myself, so I'm not trying to be against it, but is something like that that's already in place that we could maybe assign point students to instead of, or am I just being a bit naive and I've missed something?
Cool. I completely understand where you're coming from. With research conducted by Nightline, it said that students are more likely to go to their peers rather than, say, the university or somewhere like that to get support. Also, I think if we run the service ourselves, then we could hold it to account and make sure that it's a good service. Whereas with Samaritans, we can't do that. From my role in the mental health campaign, I have had people come up to me saying that they don't think that the Samaritans do a good job. I can't really go to the Samaritans and be like, please change you. But that's not me insulting the Samaritans. I think they do amazing work. But yeah.
I just wanted to say that I think this is especially idea because people, from personal experience, we need a Nightline service definitely, because it's a case of even if, is it Danny said, it was more people don't listen when they're in panic attack. They don't listen when they're suicidal. They do, and they just don't you don't realise. But even just saying, are you okay? You're gonna be okay. Whatever it takes to make them feel better. They may not physically show it, but inside they're like, okay, I can last a night. I can last one more night.
Thank you.
So there was a guy up in the top corner. This will be the last question, and then we will move on to amendments.
Girl.
Sorry, girl. I don't see. I'm sorry. I just...
Great, thanks. I was just going to say, like the wellbeing service, if they felt like someone was in danger, would they be able to sort of contact a hospital or something like that, or would it be completely confidential?
As far as I know, like with the whole safeguarding thing, if the wellbeing service knows that someone's in danger, they have to pass it on.
Yeah.
But obviously, not all not wellbeing aren't always going to know if a student's in danger, because that's only the students that choose to engage with wellbeing. From personal experience, I know how difficult it is to engage with them when you need to, and I think Nightline will just be an easier way for our students to engage.
Okay, thank you very much. You can... we've unfortunately, we just...
In purple.
She just asked.
No, the one in purple. I'm waiting for the chair to hand with Craig.
Were there any more questions in that corner?
No,
Who?
like,
Well, I mean...
to the left of Danny.
We do really need to move on. I'm really sorry. I would love to just...
Plus she had a hand up, like-
No, I would love to continue letting there be questions and stuff like that, but we do need to get a crack on if we want to get through the last things and get through any amendments and stuff like that. And the computer just died. Great.
Meeting action 2.
Sorry. What's meeting action 2?
Move to vote.
Can I go?
Okay, so meeting action 2 has been called. Meeting action 2 says you move straight to a vote. This would mean we skip the amendment process. Can I ask for all students wishing to vote in favour of skipping the amendment process to raise your cards now?
That's a majority.
And all those against? The ayes have it. We will go straight to a vote on this idea.
Meeting action 4. Secret ballot.
Okay. Meeting action 4 calls for a secret ballot. The student union officers will now submit voting papers to each person present. When this is done, I will ask you to cast your vote. Your vote will be brought down to the front, and the votes will be counted.
We can't do this because it was already agreed to vote, go straight to a vote. Can we do that?
No, we can't.
No, if it was voted.
Yes, but it's not about not having the vote. It's about doing the vote in a discreet way.
Need to go. We need.
Okay. All right. Before we can do the secret ballot, we do need to agree on doing a secret ballot in the first place.
Just go straight to all those in favour.
So we'll go straight to all those in favour of a secret ballot. All those opposed?
No secret ballot.
Okay. The motion fails. There will be no secret ballot. Can I ask that delegates try to maintain quiet while we're trying to sort out these procedures?
Can we have a lost here?
Yeah. All right. So we're going to carry on with a normal vote. All right. So we need to carry on with a standard vote. All those what? From what?
Can we have a microphone then?
If we don't really need to do this because we've already had the motion submitted, we already have to.
I have a lost question. Is there a yes, no, and abstain option for this one, please?
Given the seemingly controversial nature, I think we will allow an abstain.
That's not fair because none of the others.
We can't have an abstain.
Let me just consult with DPC. Right. Okay, all right. Order, please, everyone. Thank you to the DPC. They have informed me and Pete has informed me, as well as the SU, that you technically have an abstention anyway. You don't have to cast a vote for or against. So if we were to ask for abstention specifically, we would be counting them, but we're not going to be counting them. So if you want to abstain, you don't have to cast a vote for or against. So abstentions work in that sense. Moving on to the vote. All those wishing to vote in favour.
Can we have a member of staff, please?
We have another lost. Sorry, guys.
So abstentions don't count either way. So
No.
a simple majority of those actually participating in the vote.
Okay, are we...
Can we have a microphone up there?
Are we getting a microphone up there, please?
No, he doesn't want to ask a question. He's asking a counter question.
Oh, okay.
No, we're good.
Pam, is that okay?
We don't need a microphone, it's okay.
Is that okay?
Everything in order? We can move to a vote? Okay. Everything's in order. All those wishing to vote in favour of the Nightline idea, please raise your cards.
Can you make sure you raise them high, please? Thank you.
I want you guys to count this.
Okay. Right.
Okay, all those against.
We can count.
Yeah, no, Cam will
All right.
We'll do a count afterwards.
Can we vote for all those against?
Carries.
Motion carries.
This motion carries, and the Nightline idea is passed. I would like to just make a brief statement. As was discussed earlier on, the precise logistics of this of the just passed idea will be decided by the student union moving forward. But I would invite everyone who would have suggestions on this or would like to provide feedback into this process to please just go to the union officers and talk to them directly and give them your ideas. Now, the next idea, and I believe this is the final one we have to do today, is policy on the responsible use of alcohol
Idea holder is
/ safe drinking policy.
Action point 7. If the Vice President can't be bothered to attend, I don't think we deserve her the respect to discuss the motion.
We need to vote on that.
We need to vote on this. Do we do those for and against?
So if you're voting in support of it, you're voting not to hear this and are waiting for Scarlett to return to put it forward herself.
Do we need to hear people speaking for and against this?
Yeah.
This motion?
No.
No, we just do the vote.
We have to hear people for and against what people said.
Okay, right. So we need to hear people talk.
Can we have order, please?
Yeah, can we have order, please? Sorry, I was just conferring with the DPC precisely how we proceed here. So if I understand this correctly, we need to hear somebody to speak for and against this meeting action? Yes. Okay, so is anyone wishing to speak against Pete's meeting action to not hear point 5? Yes, Lauren. And I assume there is someone wishing to speak for Pete's action. Pete. Okay. Right. So if the right, we'll hear Pete first. If you just stay there, we'll get a microphone up to you. You have 1 minute, Pete.
The student body of this university have had 2 opportunities to consider Scarlett's absolutely word-perfect, identical reasons why she should be a vice president of this union. It's a terrible disrespect to the 27,000 students that not only did she not deliver her policies last year, but that she got elected on maybe delivering them this year, shopper shuttle. That she can't be bothered to be even in the room at the general meeting that holds her to account is an absolute travesty of the process and shows such contempt and disrespect for those of us in the room. 1 week after the meeting was in quorate, that I vote we kick her idea out of the room. And in order to do so, before Lauren can defend her, I call quoracy.
I get to speak
fuck
again.
Right. Can we hear from Lauren, please?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Can I?
I'm going to stand up.
Can I make a note that it's? No, let's just hear from Lauren.
Okay. Firstly, I think it's not fair to comment on Scarlett if she's not here, but also that this is hang on. This is an idea put forward about issues for the student body, and we should be voting on this rather than considering personal issues, and that's not fair. And we're here to vote on democracy issues about us, so please can we just vote on this idea rather than bring in personal vendettas against people who aren't here to defend themselves.
All right. Thank you. So. Now we do the vote, yes?
No, wait.
What?
Wait, Pete, what were those two things that you just said?
Action point 7 and
What's action point 7?
To be clear, under Article 20.3, we are chorus. Action point 7 is not to vote.
Not to vote.
Okay, so we need to vote on not voting. So
This is democracy, people.
all of those in favour of not voting, please raise your cards now.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay, to be very clear, put your cards down. So the motion that has been submitted is to not vote on voting as to whether or not we look at the idea that has been submitted.
Basically, do you want to vote on this now or not? Raise your card if you want to vote on it. You're right now.
No, you're voting to vote. If you wish to vote,
so
please raise your cards
if you
now.
wish to vote on this motion, on this idea now,
And hear the arguments.
and hear the arguments for and against this idea now, then you need to vote.
Now.
You need to vote now. So if you'd like to hear this idea, vote now.
Okay, and those against voting who wish not. Oh, sorry. Can you
So
raise
yeah,
your hand
those
again
who
if
wish
you
to
wish
vote on.
Those who wish to vote in favour of hearing this idea and all the other procedural things to go with it, please raise your cards now and raise them high so we can count. Thank you.
We do have a lost card. Can someone address that question, please?
Right. Can those wishing to vote... So those who don't want to vote on this idea now, raise your cards.
Please raise them as high as possible.
Is that a lost card over there? No, further back. In the beanie? Are you lost? Okay. Just checking.
I think some people have voted twice. Just to be absolutely clear, you're voting here not to discuss this idea.
Guys,
right,
I'm really sorry. We're going to have to do a recount because it was so close. So all of those who are in favour of hearing the policy on responsible use of alcohol, please raise your hands now as high as you can so we can count you. Okay. And those who wish not to hear the arguments for this idea?
Sorry.
Just leave it on. Raise them nice and high, please.
Just to note, Scarlett will have the opportunity to resubmit this motion to Student Council if she wishes.
Right. Have they counted? Huh? Right. It's very close, but twice now the majority have voted to go forward and discuss this idea, so we will. Okay. So I believe there is someone who's willing to speak on Scarlett's behalf in favour of this motion, this idea. Ahmed, excellent.
Can we have a member of staff up there? There was a lost card. Purple Kate.
Mind that Choracy doesn't count at this meeting because it's an emergency meeting because Choracy wasn't reached last time. So it's just whoever's in the room counts. Chris?
Just to be clear, under the articles, under section 20 quorum, if a quorum is not present within half an hour, then the meeting will be adjourned to effectively the following week in this instance, and then within half an hour of the start of that meeting, the membership of the meeting is a quorum. So we are quorum because this is effectively an adjournment of a previous meeting last week.
Yes, thank you very much, DPC. Anyway, take it away.
Again, now we are having an idea about policy on responsible use of alcohol, safe drinking policy. But first, please, before I start discussing this idea, can I ask if anybody disagree that UWE is diverse and multicultural place? So, most of the people agree that UWE is multicultural and diverse place. Okay. So first of all, let's say that alcohol is part of the culture and nobody can take it away from the culture, and it's associated with fun for student life, especially for freshers who usually start new stage of their life. And the point that the high consumption of alcohol has kind of bad impact on the body and the health of everybody. Nobody is saying that we don't want to drink, but just only to watch out how much we drink and how much our body can consume alcohol. It's noticed that many of the accidents and many of the fights happens when people are really in a bad condition of drunkenness, and this results in unpleasant results. Also, we would like to raise the point that not everybody drinks. Some people, they don't prefer drinking for different reasons, whether for religious reasons or for their personal preference or for health reasons. What we'd like to suggest today is that one of the things the union will do if this policy is passed, that we will have non-alcoholic events beside the alcoholic events. We are not going to cancel the alcoholic events. We are not going to ban alcohol. We are just going to add other events beside the one we have already. We will not be revolving around alcohol. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any students wishing to speak against this idea? Is there anyone?
No.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Where? Would you like to come down to the front, please?
Just a quick note, if you are, please continue coming down, it's okay. If you are going to speak for and against an idea, can you raise your hand nice and high? Because if you're at the back, we can't always see you. Okay, thank you.
Come and stand on the cross, please. Just say your name and then go ahead and say why you're opposed to this idea.
Lauren, and I sort of believe in the notion that up until a point, I never go out with unless I'm with a group of friends, or students are sort of responsible for their own drinking levels. So it's sort of a case of if they drink, they choose to drink. So, and there's so much science that's been telegraphed and advertised about liver disease and how bad alcohol is for you, that people just ignore it. So if they're just going to ignore it, then what's the point of making more publicity about it?
Okay, that's everything. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak against this motion, this idea?
We have two.
So we need somebody who's going to speak for. Okay, so we've got one to speak for. There was one at the back to speak against, so we'll have you after the four. So Lauren first, please. But we'll just pass the microphone to you. We're not going to come down the front.
So I think that as a level of responsibility, the Students' Union should be mandated to look after our student body. And I do believe that, as the resolves say, offer more opportunities and events that don't revolve around alcohol consumption. So that's including all of our student body. And this idea mandates us to do that. I also believe that, yes, okay, I take the point that maybe promotions don't get through to our student body and that we do communicate too much towards certain messages, but if we don't keep pushing those kind of damages of alcohol and what it does and how bad abuse and things like that happen when you do get drunk, that students won't know if we don't keep pushing it. And it is, hopefully, if we touch like 2 or 3 people with those messages and make changes that way, then at least we've done our jobs and we've said to you, look, this is a damage that alcohol does to you. So yeah, I think we really should support this motion idea.
Thank you. So there was someone at the back to speak against.
Hi guys, I'm Will, I'm a barman at the SU. So apologies, I'm going to be a little bit biased here. I personally think the SU, we do actually do stuff to stop people getting drunk. So if you ask any of the barmen if we reckon that anyone is too drunk for their own good, we will refuse to serve them. We'll give them a glass of water, say, come back in half an hour, and then we'll judge again. Alcohol is one of those things. Once you do it wrong once, it's one of those mistakes you never do again. So, for example, bear with me. I've known a couple of people, one being myself, during freshers, you do classifying, you go out and get hammered, you have the worst night of your life because you end up throwing up with a massive hangover. It's just a matter of responsibility. You'll choose not to make those choices again. We can do a certain bit to say, okay, drinking's bad for you, but come on, everyone knows drinking's bad for you. You do it because you want to.
Is that everything? Okay. Were there any others points against? We'll hear one more. But we need, before we go to you, is there anyone else wishing to speak for? Yes? All right, so there was someone in the green who wanted to speak against?
No, speak for.
To speak for?
Yes.
Oh, my apologies. It was Pete you wanted to speak against, yes? Yeah. Very well, we'll hear you speak against.
After speak for.
Oh, after the 4, sorry. It's been a long night.
Hi, my name's Oliver. As I can see it, the main point of this idea is our points 7 and 8, which offer more opportunities and events for that revolve around that don't revolve around alcohol consumption. This is very important for any religious reasons or any personal reasons, where if somebody doesn't want to drink, they don't then feel pressured to drink in those environments. I just wanted to put forward that this is the main point of this as idea, that 7 and 8, the previous points are points that the student union should be aiming towards anyway. It's the 7 and 8 that they will then promote and create events that aren't related to alcohol consumption and that aren't predicated on alcohol consumption.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before we go to Pete, I just wanted to remind everyone to be quiet while we're hearing other people speak. It's a matter of respect, and it's also very important that we can hear all of their ideas. Thank you very much. Pete, and...
Thank you. I'm having one of those senior moments where the staggering hypocrisy of Lauren's speech strikes me to just new levels of discontent. The elected representative who's standing in for the one that can't be bothered to be here in the room is saying that the reason why we need to do this is...
Pete, try to avoid personal comments, please.
It's not a personal comment. I'm picking up on the language that she used. It's because of the message that we send as a student union. So, here we are in this room with a voucher for 10% off the bar just for attending the meeting. The staggering hypocrisy of the message you're sending is just not lost on me. You're promoting irresponsible drinking with this voucher. You're promoting it with Black Friday deals, with discounts on alcohol. It is absolute abject hypocrisy to even put this motion, and it disrespects the entire student body that the person who claims so passionately about it as to have put the idea cannot even be bothered to be in the room and exercise the democratic right. There are 27,000 students at this university whose, frankly, intelligence has just been insulted. Kick the motion out.
All right, thank you, Pete.
Meeting Action 7 has been called. Do we vote on that?
Would you need to...
Is there anyone against Meeting Action 7?
No. Can we have order, please?
Meeting Action 7 has been called, which means that we go... we don't vote.
Right, so Meeting Action 7 is that we wouldn't vote on this idea. So I'd like to ask somebody if there's anyone willing to speak against this motion.
An officer's asked for motion 7.
No, somebody else has asked for, and we have to, according to our procedure, unfortunately, we have to go through this process. So motion 7 has been called. Motion 7, if it passes, it means we don't vote on this idea and it gets sent to student council. So my question to you at the moment, is there anyone wishing to speak against not voting on this idea? Yes? Yes. Okay. So can we get a mic to the person wishing to speak against?
We need 4.
Well, we know we've got 4 because somebody... Okay, so we need to hear the 4 first.
No, you have to. If someone's against it, you have to speak for. Or you can cancel it.
Yeah, so...
But Robert J put it forward, so he has to speak for.
Could we have
the
person who submitted motion 7 to come and speak for the idea, please? Could you please make yourself known?
Someone's just called Meeting Action 6.
Okay, you're cancelling it? Okay, so Meeting Action 7 just got cancelled.
Meeting Action 6 has now been called by someone else, and that means that we have to vote in parts.
Right, no, we hear for and against.
So what the person who called it is trying to get a drug in.
Action 7 has been cancelled. We won't call Action 6.
Okay.
Okay, all right, no, all right. So both actions have been cancelled. So we will continue with standard procedure, which is now we move on to questions.
Well, have we got anyone who wants to speak?
We're going on to questions. So the way that this is going to... Huh?
We have action 3 to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, action 3 has just been called. Action 3 would adjourn the meeting immediately and suspend all votes. So before we can vote on this action, we need to hear...
No, we've got to proceed with this one first.
We have to proceed with action 3 before going to action 2.
Right, so we hear someone for and against, yes?
If there is anyone against.
Okay. Is there anyone against? Is there anyone who would like to speak against adjourning the meeting? Yes. Okay. So first off, we need to hear from the person who submitted action 3. Who submitted action 3 to adjourn the meeting?
Hi, it's me again. I think the meeting has in the past sort of 20 minutes devolved a little bit, and the focus is gone. So I don't think it's quite appropriate to, I don't think it's appropriate to continue votes when I think most people's attention is probably on food and bed and just not on this meeting right now. It doesn't feel like to me anyway. So I would recommend adjourning this meeting and reassessing in February or at another point. But right now it's attention is gone. So
Okay. And somebody wishing to speak against, please. Okay, so there was the person over there.
Guy in the coat and the hat.
I can.
Yep.
Yep.
It's, I've been told that you adjourned it last week for the same reason, because there wasn't enough people to vote. If you're going to do it again, then that's just wasting time, man. It's a sensitive issue, so...
Okay, so it was just as a point of a clarification, the reason why the meeting was adjourned last week was because there wasn't enough people in here to vote. This meeting counts as an emergency meeting, which doesn't require a set number of people inside to vote on it. So that's why we've been able to vote on everything else today. Yeah, the point that has been made is that somebody... what?
I want to say something
That
else.
people's concentration has waned. But is there anyone who wants to speak against adjourning the meeting?
Like, we've come this far, like, we might as well just finish and go straight to the voting.
Yeah.
It's like, no point adjourning at this moment.
No, if there's someone else against, we've got to put it.
Okay, right, so we have to do a vote, right?
No, if there's anyone else that wants to speak against adjourning the meeting.
Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to speak against adjourning the meeting?
Yes. And is there anyone for?
And is there anyone else who'd like to speak for adjourning the meeting?
No. Yeah.
All right, so we'll hear from the for and then the against, please. The DPC are pointing at who they've chosen to speak.
This first point will be for adjourning the meeting, yes?
No, I'm against.
Okay, so
Okay,
who's
so
voting
that's
for
wrong.
Pete Dorr?
Down here.
Yeah, if Pete can be given the microphone, please.
In the blue, yeah.
Pete, please keep it quick and civil.
Okay, keeping it quick and simple, and I apologise because the lovely lady there was going to probably make a better point than me. We are a university, a very, very diverse university of 27,000 students across campuses in 4 different counties. Look around the room right now. Are there 27,000 people in it? Are we in fact even quorate? Do we have, if we were anything but an emergency meeting, we would not have sufficient people in the room to provide a mandate of anything like a representation of the diverse community that is the 4th largest student union in the nation. So we have a student representative council that will meet and will pick up any business we don't discuss. And who knows, maybe our paid 20,000 plus per year vice president might deem us by gracing us with her presence in that meeting. I don't know, maybe she will, maybe she won't. Maybe skiing is more important. But I do not think those present in the room are sufficient to continue.
Sorry, Pete. Pete, can you please, when you're speaking, refrain from any personal attacks on any of the officers?
Right. So there was somebody wishing to speak against at the top there. We had already decided the blue hoodie, right? You had pointed him out.
This guy right at the back in the blue shirt.
Hello. Yes, that's me. While I do agree with what Pete said in that we
do not represent the full diversity of this union. We're the ones who care about being here. We made the effort to come. Why should we not get to vote on what we're here to do?
Right. Okay, thank you. No, we're not going to do that. We've done 2 rounds. Right. So now the procedure that we have to follow.
Vote on it first.
Right.
We can't go
so-
to meeting action 2 until we voted on the previous meeting action. So can you please
Yes.
wait
Please.
until we've voted? Thank you.
Thank you. Right. So voting on this on the action to adjourn the meeting. All those in favour of adjourning the meeting, please raise your voting cards. Raise them really high so we can see.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. All those against adjourning the meeting? That's the majority. Very well. Now, the procedure that we are at the moment is we are going to accept questions. The person, what's motion 2?
Chairperson moves straight to the vote.
Okay, so is there anyone wishing to speak against meeting action 2? Meeting action 2 would go straight to a vote on this idea. It would skip the questions and amendment phase.
Okay, we have 1 up there.
Okay, so we have someone wishing to speak against.
We have somebody speak for first.
So just to clarify, please, thank you. Just to clarify, you want to speak against, yes? Against moving straight to a vote. Okay, so we need to hear from the person who wants to go straight to the vote first, please, and then we will come to you, okay? Excellent.
We might as well. It's just wasting time. We got stuff to do, man. Just vote. We're already here. Just vote. We did it for everything else.
Okay, we're not here to have a shouting match. This isn't Parliament.
That's a bit unfair.
We're here to actually try and pass legislation. So if I can now hear from the person who is against skipping straight to the vote, please.
It doesn't give anyone the opportunity to ask questions or make amendments, and that's not fair. That's true.
Okay. Is there anyone else wishing to speak against skipping straight to the vote? No. No? Very well. Then we will vote on motion on meet.
Are there any amendments?
Huh?
We have to do action 2.
Oh, okay.
Vote on
Okay. So now we vote on meeting action 2. All those who are in favour of meeting action 2 and moving straight to a vote, please raise your voting cards. Raise them really high so they can be counted. Bear in mind you are voting to skip the questions and amendment phase on this idea, so you'd be...
Can we not have a shouting match, please?
Please.
We're doing a vote now. All those in favour of moving straight to the vote, please raise your cards high now. Thank you.
Don't worry, I've got this. I've got this. Are we done with the vote for? All those against skipping straight to a vote on this idea? Okay, meeting action 2 has passed. So we will move straight to a vote on the idea for a responsible drinking policy with no questions or amendments on the policy. Okay. Can I ask all those in attendance wishing to vote in favour of this idea to raise your cards now? Raise them nice and high. My tone of voice has changed. My tone of voice has changed. I've become serious, Jay.
It's a great idea, but like she could have maybe taken this afternoon off and come in this evening to discuss it.
We're not here to discuss. Excellent. All those who are against the idea for a responsible drinking policy, please raise your cards now. Please keep them raised high so we can see them until I say otherwise. Thank you. The motion has passed. So a responsible drinking policy has been instigated. Instituted, rather. Okay. That is all of the ideas that we had to vote on today. The sixth idea for housing will be sent straight to Student Council to be discussed and voted on there in February. I'd like to thank everyone for coming and for sticking it out this long. The date of the next meeting will be announced in November 2016. A couple of other points to bring you up to speed on. The student union is currently in the middle of a democracy review. The DPC is part of this. Cameron Telford is the democracy sort of coordinator at the university. So if you have any ideas on how to improve student involvement and how to improve the student decision-making process, please consult with any of these people. Congratulations on passing all the ideas today and for some good debate. Yeah, have a nice weekend. Thank you for coming.